Hello, 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 and welcome. It is Monday, February 7th, 2022. Welcome, everybody. It's the Guru Mama, and coming to you with the 411 of the cosmic highway and the craziness of watching as above, so below unfold right before our very eyes in many different aspects. I know my algorithm, or and I always say I'm not a very big fish, but it's been kind of disrupted a little bit lately. So hopefully people are getting their notices. I know I just it popped up that it went out that I'm on. So sending you guys out so much love. So today is Monday. It's another week closer to spring, and so happy about that one. The sun here is bright, it's shiny, it's above zero. The snow is melting. Totally love it. Totally love it. I know that's good, bad, and indifferent when we look at the weather, same as when we look at the outside world. Well, I mean, just in a weekend, it was crazy. It was crazy. Now, today we have Jupiter, lovely Mr. Jupe, and he's doing a semi square to Eris. And this is going to be quite another big week in astrology, and a big week But Jupiter and Eris can be disruptive and chaotic, but they can also serve to reveal shadows. Eris is for the underdog. She always is. She's the one who'll go out and fight tooth and nail for that is unjust. She wants to make sure that everything is just. Now, the thing is, she's squaring Jupiter in Pisces, in Jupiter's home. He's expansive. He wants to, like, yeah, this is great. Look at everything. Look at the boundaries. Look at how beautiful this is. And she's like, it's a semi square, so there's tension there. And she's like, yeah, it might look all beautiful and wonderful, but what about this and what about that? So she gets to really have you look at other parts and other pieces that may not be so in alignment for you, or may not be feeling so comfy cozy. This is where we start to really look at the bigger picture and start to look at things that, okay, you know what, maybe I've been going comfy cozy at this time, and maybe I haven't been so comfy cozy at this, throughout this. Maybe I've just allowed myself to be here, and now it's time to look at the truth and really start looking at where am I setting boundaries, and looking at that setting of boundaries and what that is. And that's looking into your day-to-day world, your realm, on what you will take and what you won't take. This is where we're finding that there's a lot of mislabeling going on and misrepresentation. I find that, when we look at it, we'll go to Pluto, because Pluto is also, he's been having a square with Eris for a little while, a little bit off the square, but it's still there, is finding out the truth. And as I see it, there's a lot of offshoots of disruptions that are happening, not only within our lives, maybe personally, but in the external lives around us. And I think a lot of what's going on in our world right now, and especially here in Canada, is scaring people. It scares them. They don't understand. Things have been comfortable. It's been okay. I'm okay. I still got a roof over my head. I can still do what I need to do. But they're not looking at the long term. They're not looking further down the road. They're just looking at, okay, right now, this is fine. It's like saying, oh, right now, I only have one fish, so I can just eat for today. Here's the energy in saying, it's like, it's not just for today, but it's for tomorrow, the day after that, and the day after that. It is time to start looking into things even deeper and making the provisions that you need for long term. Is this the energy that you want to be in for long term? And this is where standing for the truth and setting up clear boundaries is with Jupiter and Eris. Like, where are your boundaries? Because Pisces need boundaries. If anybody knows any Pisceans, they kind of need boundaries. They need a schedule. They need time limits. It's kind of good to sort of give them those things. Otherwise, there is no boundaries. And when there is no boundaries, things can get a little cray cray. And on Friday, we will be having that Mercury Pluto conjunction and with both of them, and it's going to trine the North Node. We have the moon in here for the first time with the North Node in Taurus, and the moon rules the nodes because the nodes make the eclipses, right? And sextiling the South Node with that Mercury Pluto. So we have had 3 Mercury North Node trines due to Mercury's retrograde, but this is the first time and only with Pluto North Node and its trine is significant. Now this is where Pluto, contemporary ruler of the karmic South Node in Scorpio, the South Node in Scorpio is a deep dive into the personal and collective shadow. So we're coming into a lot of things that we don't like, we things that we do like. This is really getting to look at, wow, what is our world like? What is this truth? It's people taking a step back and saying, I think what they're doing is wrong, or I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. And this is where, the ruler of taboo, the topics of society, sex, death, money, power, and control, is about facing fears and obsessions with the Plutonian flavor. So here we are, we're coming into a week that could be very explosive, can be very upsetting, can be a week that is, well, I really wanted that, but I it's it isn't exactly what I wanted. It isn't exactly where I want it to go. This is with that Plutonian harmonious linking with both the nodes. We have a greater access to the depths of our shadow right now. I'm really taking a look at it. And one of those things, and hear me out. I don't think, and I've seen many other people say this too, that Joe Rogan should have apologized. When you look at that montage of him saying the N-word totally out of context, he didn't do, like, maybe he did wrong by saying it, but it was in a context of what he was trying to explain, and somebody took it out of that, which is in today's society what people do. But the thing is, now hear me out. When we're doing our shadow work, this is where we start to really look into of what we did was right, what we did was wrong, where we want to release and forgive, maybe even where we want to apologize. But if I'm going to apologize, I'm going to apologize to you because you love me, because you care about me. I'm not going to apologize to you and because you're trying to spite me or you're trying to do something wrong to me. And all you want to do is have my demise. I'm not going to apologize to you. I'm not going to be rude to you. I'm not going to um, say rude things back to you, but I'm not going to bend the knee before you. And this is where the energy is. It's like Eris does not bend the knee. Pluto does not bend the knee. Mars does not bend the knee. They get you to look at these parts of you that are good or bad and the shadow parts. And then it has you to take a really deep dive look is like, that's not where I want my energy to be. I will draw the boundaries. I am not going in that direction. Do I have to explain to you why? No, not really. I don't have to explain to you why or why not. If I'm in a relationship that is growing and fostering and loving, yeah, we can sit down and have a conversation because you really want the best for me and I want the best for you. But when I look at, and we're taking this with Joe Rogan because he's a big dude, right? He's out there. It's like the people who wanted him to apologize, do you think that they're in a loving, caring relationship that really wants the best for him? No. They're the type of people that want to push you down because they can. They are the big bullies. They're the big extension of the corporations, just like GoFundMe. It's like they've been bullied. It's like, okay, then I want to keep my form, or I want to keep my um attachments to these things, so I will be a total dick or be an asshole just to show off, to show you that I can. And this is what is being exposed. And this is like really exceptional astrology at this time for the inner work and the shadow work, which I've been doing through not only the Fairy Be a Goddess group that I'm doing right now, but even through my Journey Club. It's a deep dive into the shadow part of yourself and forgiving those parts of yourself. But in forgiving those parts of yourself, it's not to forgive yourself to feel, I don't know, obligated because you had to forgive yourself, or you had to forgive them, or you had to say sorry because, and that person doesn't even care. And that's the thing. You got to do it for you, but you don't have to do it for them or try to prove anything to anybody else. And here it is that this personal energy and this collective energy is coming up and saying, you know what? We're going to do something. We're going to make these changes because we want to make something better for the long term. Am I going to apologize for it? No, I'm not. And some people may be upset with that. Some people will be like, well, you have to. And it's like, no, I will, I'll make sure that I don't step out of bounds, or that I'm not really trying to um, inflict bodily harm upon you, or take away something from you. But I am going to stand up, and I'm going to allow for this energy to come through so that I can allow myself to stand in my truth and my strength of the direction I want to go into. And that's where we're at. We're having to step up into our truth and direction. And some people aren't going to like that. They're going to try and oust it, down it, be cruel, be mean. But that Eris Jupiter semi square is like both those. I mean, Jupiter is moving pretty quickly right now, but still having us to really take a deep dive on saying what is just and what isn't just. And with the energies coming from the South Node in Scorpio, is like, okay, where are you drawing your boundaries? Or are you going to just sit in the same kind of shit and expect it all to be the same beautiful way because of I have a fish today? This is looking into our own divine story, our magic, and our magic that is within us. And this is time where we are in a practice is over. It's like the game is on. And this is game time. This is game time to really shine the light, to really be that of who you are. This is where the cards that you have is the cards that are dealt. This is what you're playing with. And this is allowing for you to stand in this imperfection of allowing yourself to be imperfect, because you're not perfect. Nobody is perfect on this earth. But this is the authenticity and the honesty that we have to have with our feelings. And I honestly think that Joe Rogan was thinking that, okay, it'll go away. But I feel like there is like, this is something that the enemy, we'll call them the enemy, the evil ones, are going to try and hold up against him in some long term. It's like if you're in a game of war or something, or doing something strategic, you're not going to tell that person that you're doing, or you're in this battle with, that, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that move. It's like a play. It's like if you're in a game, you're in a final game. You're not going to go to the other team and say, "Oh shit, that play that we did was all wrong." No, maybe after the game when you do the replays and then you look at it, yeah, but not during it. Just saying. This is where we're in a time that is bringing in a lot of portals, and a lot of portals of confusion. So it's very important for us to come back and trust our inner wisdom and trust our God, our divine, that we are going into the direction that we know is within our truth, but it's not a time to bend the knee. It's not a time to say, "Oh, well, I'm sorry." No, it's a time to stand in my truth. I'll stand by you and I'll love you because you're loving and caring and you're loving and caring back to me. But if you're not, I'm not going to apologize to you. I'm not going to say I'm sorry to you. I'm not going to, I'm not, honestly, I'm going to try my darndest not to be mean to you or be my spiteful self, which I can because I am Scorpio. But I will step back and send you love and blessings. That's where the energy is. And that's where we're seeing the transformation and changes. It's very difficult when somebody's being kind and loving to you or being peaceful to try and you're trying to throw spikes at them every single moment or every single way. And they still continue getting up and rising and going forward. That's where our journey is, and that's where you got to look at yourself personally on where do you think people are pulling the rug underneath you? Where do you think things aren't in alignment with you that you need to step back and say, you know what, that's not where I'm going to go, but I'm going in this direction. I'm going in the place where I want to do. And we're going to find a lot with the collective consciousness that there's going to be a lot of emotions that are going to arise from this around, that's going to arise, and what is going to be revealed in the long run. This is, a lot of deep shadow work within the collective and within our own selves personally. And many have come to me lately, and I'm just going to go on a side route right now. Side road here is that many have come to me and said that because of what's happening right now, that they are finding divisions, even deeper divisions within their family and friends and part of their community. And this is where it's like, okay, you got to stay strong to what you truly believe in. You're not going to change their minds because they they believe what they believe. They believe that whatever it is has been told to them without a shadow of a doubt. That's what they believe. So you have to, you just have to keep going forward. And that's all part of the game. That's all part of playing and showing up on the playing field. And that's where we're at right now. We're showing up on the playing field, and it's a big game we're playing. And try not to get political, and I don't want to be political, but I think this is where we have to show our true selves and show what we are coming up and to do. I don't know if I explained that right. But I find it amazing as I look at the astrology and I see what's happening in Ottawa, I see what's happening in New Zealand and in other parts of the world, and even what's happening within what the United States is trying to do and push the war with Ukraine. And I find it interesting. I I think more needs to be known about that whole thing, and what their interest is. Because do I trust United States to go into a war? No. Look at what they did to Afghanistan, and who's backing that, and who's going to make money from this, and that's the whole thing. In the last, was it 30 days or 60 days? Another $4 trillion came into the deficit of the United States. What the fuck is that? Like, what is that? That's crazy. That's crazy. We're never going to be able to pay that back. It's almost where it's like, okay, you know what, guys? We got to come back to zero and just get some new people in here or something to redo this, because we're at a point that it's off the chart. It just doesn't make sense anymore. And I do have to say, I'm totally ashamed of having a prime minister like Trudeau. I am totally ashamed to have somebody like that in power who is so irresponsible. And you can see it. You can see the irresponsibility. And when I look at his chart, and I'm just like, man, you're in for some big blows, baby. because you're into where Pluto is in your chart. It's about finding out your truth and looking at your truth at this time. And this is like huge. This is huge. And even with the Canadian chart, it's huge in what's being unveiled for us as Canadians, and coming up and standing up for our own truths and in what we feel is our divine right as human beings, but also as a collective of Canadians coming forward. And everything, as my mother would say, everything gets, throw it in the wash and it'll be right as rain. It's everything is going to come out and it's going to be revealed. And as it's coming out and being revealed, some people aren't going to believe it. They're not going to understand it. And it's going to be frustrating and overwhelming, but we're going to get through this. And as a lot of shadow energies coming in, and this is, personal and collective, but it always the key to start with the personal, as if we, as I wrote today, as if we channel all our energy and focus into seeing what is shadowy out in the world, but we don't do the work to see our own shadow. So remember, whatever's happening on the outside is happening within the inside. So we have to take a look at what's happening within our own lives. And really, this is a time for us to start looking and saying, okay, that this is merely a projection out what we disown, as within, so without. So we are projecting as a collective so much into the world. We're seeing the peacefulness, but we're also seeing the corruption and the debris and the mislabeling that's coming out. And we're also seeing where corporations are an extension of the government at this time, because big lobbying, they're sitting down, they're having conversations. They are an arm of the government. So they are going to come down upon people, upon everyday people. You're going to find, that your face, if you posted anything, that has to do with the rally or anything, you're going to be flagged automatically. Your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube has all been flagged. And even your Messenger, even your, it's all, even TikTok, it's all flagged by the government. Like they're watching, they're seeing, and as they're watching and seeing, they're probably scared shitless, because they're also seeing that, oh my God, people aren't complying. People aren't doing what they're told to do. People aren't running scared. But remember, this is where they will try to pull out individuals. That's what I feel like. They pull out individuals to make them fearful. And there's power in numbers. There's power in numbers. So there's powers in numbers, especially when there's love. When there's love. So bringing that love into our day. Oh my goodness, so much is going on. So onwards and upwards, that's my new saying for you all. And my readings are 15% off right now. And this is another side reel. Oh my God, another side reel. I saw a post, and she's a lovely person, but you know what? I get where she's coming from. Don't down, like I know psychics and I know astrologers that to see them is anywhere from $300 to $1,200. And you might say that's outrageous, that's crazy. You know what? With some of them, I think they're totally worth it because they're totally awesome, right? And that's what you pay, because you got to look at what they're doing, in what they're doing. Years ago, I might have thought, oh my God, that's horrible. Look at that. But it's also valuing what you do and how you do it. And I do totally value what I do. And I do discounts and special prices and stuff. And I, to help people out if they're needing a reading or a consultation. But I do value the price that I do put it at. And I'm learning to value myself. I'm learning to value what it is that I do more and more and more. But this is what I'm seeing is that just because you're not charging 300 or 150, don't knock other people down and mock them because you're not there yet. Maybe one day you will be. Whatever you charge, whatever you do, fine, that's great for you. But, I've learned to say, "You know what? I like to pay for my things." It's stressful when you can't pay for your bills and this is your income. So you gotta look at what are your bills? This is a business. What are your bills? How are your bills, balancing out with what's coming in? And this is where I learned very difficult lesson to say, "You know what? I gotta charge more." That's why my average price for a reading's at 180 right now because I gotta pay my bills. I gotta pay for the lights. I gotta pay for the Instagram, for my internet, I mean. And this is where I like to eat. I really like to eat. And when you're struggling and it's hell. It's hell to struggle. It really is. And so I honor myself with what I do, and I want you all to honor what you do as well. That's important. That's part of this work that we're doing. Honor it and look at the parts of why you don't show up fully to what you do or what you want to do. Look at that within yourself, and that's your personal journey. That's what you got to look at. And sometimes it's like, "Oh, I don't want to look at that. I want to be humble. I want to be this and I want to be that." And it's like, "Okay, I can still be humble and everything else and still earn a good living because then I can help more people and help more people in what I do and honor myself in what I do." And that's same with artists. There is an artist who did a picture of a potato. It's a russet potato and the background's all black. And she sold it for like a half a million dollars. It's a picture of a potato. That's all it is. It's a picture of a potato. But she believed in her picture and somebody offered her a half a million dollars and she said yes. It's believing in who you are. It's believing in what you are doing. And knowing that, yeah, you know what? I am fucking worth it. I am worth that. I had another client who they offered her a job and she was working, and I think it was on the East Coast or something. Anyways, she's the what she was working for, I mean, she was getting a good income and stuff. And a company in California wanted her, and they gave her a good offer, and but she sat back and she goes, "I can't." We discussed it, and she says, "I can't live on that. I mean, I will barely make it." And I said, "Okay, let's go through this." And I pulled the cards and we're going through the reading. And I said, "You have to sit down and let them know that no, you want this amount because of this, and this is what you want." And she was like, "Oh my God, I can't do that." And I said, "Why not? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But this is showing that this is where you need to go in a forward motion." And she did. She talked with them and she got more than what she asked for. They paid for her moving, they paid for so much more. She got more weeks in vacation pay because she asked. She stood up to what she believed in. That's where it is. Standing up, going up for what you believe in. This is my truth. This is what I'm standing up for. I want to go forward. I want to create. I want to do more things in this world. And here I am. How am I going to do it? Well, it's through my business, it's through what I do, it's through my classes, all of that. And allowing for that give and take in that of what you do, you're doing it not only to honor yourself, but to honor others. And that's what the beauty of this is. So part of the energy, too, this is that Jupiter Aries is like, rise up, be that beautiful person, but don't double down on yourself. Don't bend yourself to something that you're not, and acknowledge all that you are in everything that you do. So, on that note, yes, I am, because it's Valentine's Day and I'm having 15% off all my readings. You can go to thegurumama.com. It's there. You can book an appointment. And my tarot class. I love teaching tarot. So I would love to have more people to come in. And it is $99 for 5 weeks. It's fun. It's something that I enjoy doing. This is what I do. I honor what I do. And I want you to honor what you do in everything. Have a blessed day, everybody. Shine your light. Don't let anybody put that light out, because you are the child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Have a blessed day, everybody, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.